Class 8 Biology, Chapter 5 Health and Hygiene. Good morning, students. Dear students, till now we have gone through the definition of congenital disease, acquired disease, communicable diseases, and we have seen some of the examples of the communicable diseases along with their causal organisms. And we have also seen some examples of airborne diseases. Now today let us see what are waterborne diseases. So as the name suggests, drinking dirty water contaminated with germs or using it to brush teeth or to make ice can cause waterborne diseases. And the examples are typhoid, dysentery, cholera and hepatitis. And they are spread through contaminated water. So students, because of the intake of dirty water, our body can have bacteria, virus, protozoans also. So they are going to cause the diseases, like typhoid is caused by virus, and then your dysentery is caused it is caused by this dysentery by protozoa, and then cholera, it is caused by once again bacteria, and then hepatitis, it is caused by virus. Then infections of ears, nasal passage and throat commonly spread through water in swimming pools. Water gets contaminated by human activities. All types of waste and especially sewage gets mixed with the water which people consume. So how one can prevent such diseases? By using boiled or purified water, a proper system for disposal of human waste and protection of the source of water from contamination can prevent the spread of waterborne diseases. So not only we should take purified water, the purification can be done by our RO or by boiling the water, but also attention should be paid that the human disposal such as sewage, it should be treated well before discharging that water into the rivers. Now the next way by which diseases can get inside our body, or the microbes can get inside our body, it is by intake of some sort of food, like stale food. So let us see. Foodborne diseases are the diseases of the digestive tract caused due to the consumption of contaminated food. Diseases like cholera, once again cholera has come up. It was the example of waterborne disease. That typhoid, once again it has come up with the foodborne disease also. So cholera, typhoid, polio and amoebiasis spread by consuming food which is not properly cooked. So now you know the purpose of cooking the food. Generally we cook the food to make it soft, but simultaneously the microbes are also killed in it. Then contaminated food also causes gastroenteritis, dehydration and diarrhea. Proper cooking and washing of vegetables and fruits before eating them can prevent foodborne diseases. So we should properly cook the food, we should properly wash the vegetables when we buy from the market. Then consumption of canned food also causes a kind of food poisoning called botulism. Now students, what is the meaning of this canned food? You see, certain soft drinks, we buy them in the cans, okay? Certain other food items, we buy them in the cans. So what they are saying, that consumption of canned food also causes a kind of food poisoning called botulism. And botulism, it is a disease caused by bacteria, and generally when the bacteria is having the anaerobic environment, means less oxygen is there, then only that bacteria produces the toxin, and the name of the toxin is botulin. Now cooking the canned food for a few minutes at somewhere 100 degrees Celsius temperature destroys the germs in it. Meat also becomes a source of infection if it is not properly cooked. It may carry larvae of worms which cause diseases. Milk also leads to stomach infection if not boiled adequately before drinking. Now, pasteurization and boiling are effective in destroying the bacteria responsible for infection. You see, when milk items are packed, when milk is packed, so a process is done that is called pasteurization. Pasteurization, basically the name has been derived from a scientist called Louis Pasteur. And in pasteurization, we heat the food items for a certain interval of time at a certain temperature. So it kills the germs. Then on the right hand side we have a picture of a boy suffering from polio. And in polio, generally the limbs, our hands or legs, they become weak. And polio is caused by a virus. Now, diseases through contact. So many infections spread from a diseased person to a healthy person through contact. Contact can either be direct or indirect. So let us see. In direct contact, germs are carried from the wounds on the body surface or from the openings in the body of an infected person to a healthy person directly. Athletes' food spread by direct contact. So some examples they have given. So somehow if a healthy person comes in contact with the infections or wounds of a infected person, then that healthy person will carry the disease. So what is this athlete's foot? So basically it is a fungal infection which occurs to the foot, especially between the toes. Okay, and it occurs on account of having moisture or some sweaty skin. So why the athlete's foot has been given, you know the meaning of athletes, okay, like the runners, okay, the sprinters, they are called athletes. And generally they wear the shoes and tight shoes, and because of this there is no proper ventilation, okay, and because of this the sweat becomes the source of the infection. The bacteria spreads, the fungus spreads over there. So it is basically a fungal disease, okay. So that's why the name has been given as athlete's foot. Then the next one is indirect contact, the use of same bed, quilts, blankets, clothes, towels, handkerchiefs, utensils, books, pencils and other materials which were used by the patient may indirectly pass an infection to a healthy person. So if we are using the things which are used by an infected person, then surely we are going to have the disease infection. Now, ringworm, intestinal infections, measles, chickenpox and fungal infections spread rapidly through direct or indirect contact. Conjunctivitis, a viral disease which affects eyes, also spreads through contact. You know the meaning of conjunctivitis? Here the white part of the eye, it becomes reddish. Okay. So if somehow we are sitting with a child who is infected with conjunctivitis, then what will happen? Surely either with the through the air or whatever the things he touches his eyes, whatever the pen or pencil he is touching, again we are holding the same pen or pencil and again we are touching our eyes. So what will happen? The virus will be transferred to our eyes and again we will become infected. So what are the preventive measures? Avoiding contact with the patient and the things used by him is advisable to prevent the spread of such infections. So students, today we have taken the waterborne diseases example, foodborne diseases and diseases which are spread through contact. Okay. So this is all for today. So in our next class we will see vector-borne diseases. Till then, goodbye.